Would you like to know how video is going to change now that we're living in the virtual world? If you think this is interesting, keep on watching because you're going to find this information super interesting. Here's the point which I think is incredibly powerful, and this is a video that I want to show because this was done in 2016. And when we see the figures, right now we are in 2020, and you're going to see what has changed. Have a look.
It seems so quaint. It seems so quaint in comparison to the actual stats that happened. I mean, that video kind of says this could happen. And what we know now is it all happened beyond belief. Video just took over and everything else as well.
Exactly. And I think right now, after the pandemic, I mean, things have increased dramatically. I think it's just been incredibly interesting. So right now we have two aspects on the speaking industry, which I think you need to take into consideration. Video, which we're going to be talking about how important video is going to be for your own speaking career. And the other one is streaming. So we have two very important angles that we need to be covering: streaming and video. Now, let's just talk a little bit about streaming, because I think this is very interesting. This weekend, we have the one and only Tony Robbins having an event for 23,500 people around the world. Now, this is very interesting because this happened in July. Now, let me just show you something that we have been already showing our students for months. I think this was actually done in April. Are there any similarities from one to the other? Now, let me just show you here. I have another interesting picture for you to see. Here we go.
Do you remember we sat there one night and we were talking about, well, my night and your morning, and we're brainstorming, where is this going to go? What is a gig going to look like from now on? And we looked at lots of different ways of putting it. What would it be? You couldn't have people who are in an audience. You couldn't have them that far away. You've got to get them into a venue. It's got to be faster. It's got to be slicker. And these images we put together literally in April when we first did the first season of the Toilet Paper Diaries as a way of sharing what we predicted live gigs would look like. And it wasn't that far off, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, in fact, we have also been doing this for our clients. There you can see Frank Mulcahy also now on his website. If you can see it in bookfrankmulcahy.com, he has that same look, and we're going to be doing the same for Gunther, and we're going to be doing the same for all the speakers that we're working with, because we believe that this is the way that you need to be putting yourself. So now, of course, this is just the branding part. Now, how does it actually look on real time?
Welcome to UPW! Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Robbins!
We're here to make some history this weekend. Who's up for it here? Say aye. I know we have people here from 138 countries, almost 23,000. And I know some of you are up at 3 in the morning, some it's midnight, some of you it's already tomorrow. I've been preparing for 2.5 months to do something that's never been done before. You know, we have 16-foot high ceilings here to give you a perspective, 50 feet wide, 180 degrees around me and in the back again, so I could see you all and interact with you all in this time period. And so we're gonna use these tools to change your lives from where you are. Who's here ready to do this and get everything you possibly can out of the weekend here? Say aye!
When we watch something like that, I know that all the speakers that we know are going, yeah, but I haven't got $6 billion in the bank. How are we going to erect that huge thing all the way around? And I've got to say, some of the people dancing in those videos weren't doing social distancing. But you've got to say that Tony Robbins has pulled the stops out, and that is an impressive spread.
Yeah, you know what I know, and this is a matter of fact, it's already happening. Right now, here in Houston, there's 2 studios that you can actually rent to have over 2,000 people in a very similar scenario like this. So I think, in my way of thinking, there's going to be a number of different cities where you will be able to rent these studios to actually do your event. If you think about it, just think the reverse of how the event industry is going to be working. Instead of actually putting together a huge event or whatever, you have just one room and then you have that studio. So that, I think, it's something that you need to be thinking about, because this is absolutely something which is going to be happening.
But here's the interesting thing. Supposing that you go in as a speaker to an event like this, you really have to then get your hybrid skills on. You have to be a TV presenter. You also have to be an entertainer. You have to have mega awareness of what's going on around you. You also have to be able to raise the elements of energy in the room as you're taking them on a journey. And you've got to be able to bring them down again afterwards. It's going to be a whole new set of skills. And if you're working in a room like that, you know that your back is constantly turned to people. Now, the thing is, the golden rule in entertainment is you never have your back to anybody, because then they lose that rapport with you. But Tony Robbins is Tony Robbins, but there's an incredible set of new skills you'd have to learn to work in that. It's like an amphitheater, and you're always on.
And respectfully, I mean, if you think that your Toastmaster skills are going to take you to that level, I think you better think twice. We have here an interesting comment from a.s.a.p. She's saying you also need a whole team working behind the scenes. Yes, absolutely. You're 100% correct. And I think this is also going to be one of the new roles of the event organizers. But just think about it, and this is also very interesting. Right now, it is only me and you running this show, and we're getting every single thing together. We are providing an incredible experience for people by only doing this, the two of us. So we understand the concepts of speaking, we understand the concept of broadcasting, and we are providing an experience for every single one of the people which are watching. Now, Dave, the question is, can these skills be transferable to anyone?
I think that anybody can learn, but I don't think anybody can be brilliant at it. But you need to be competent at it. I mean, just thinking there about that thing about everybody around you, and it reminded me of the 20 years I spent doing the rugby sevens, where I'd walk out into the middle of an arena with 40,000 people around me, and it's the same experience. You cannot please everybody all the time, but what you can do is treat the whole audience as a single entity and raise their game as you do it. So I think that everybody can step up, but they don't have to be the same as Tony or you or me. They just have to be the best that they can be. And if it's intimate enough and you position yourself right, the audience will love you whoever you are.
So if you have enjoyed so far what we have shown today, please make sure to smash that notification bell and subscribe button.
And I think for many people who enjoy using social media, they really need to start thinking, if they want to become speakers, about not only the fact that you're doing stuff with your posts and so on. These are all crafting levels of personality, levels of interaction. People can think you're really good fun to be with, but they might not want to spend time with you because some days you have off days and you put nasty stuff down. What tends to happen with your social media and the social proof is people will take a snapshot of any post you've made at any given time, and that's what they'll be sharing with potential clients as to whether we should get that person in. So if you just let it all come out and you have good days and bad days and you share that, that might well defeat you from getting a really good gig. So your personality is key to it, but your real personality doesn't have to be what you put out on social media. You just need to manufacture a version of you that's appealing for people, and it will work.
If we see already the Tony Robbins doing it, and we already see a number of different high-end speakers already getting used to the fact that this is going to be the way that the most events are going to go, even if they are hybrid, this is the time for you to start moving. I mean, you cannot just remain stale and say, well, you know, I wait until things come back to normal, because you see that already that the momentum has tilted. I mean, right now it's everybody's starting to move forward. So the question is, are you already moving forward? And if you do not really know how to get done into how to actually get started, contact us. I mean, contact Dave or contact me, and we will be very happy to help.
Yeah, an interesting comment made by Corolla, who's saying there's only one Tony Robbins and only he can do this. And I completely disagree with that. I don't think Tony Robbins is the only person that can do this. I think many people can do their own version of this. Tony Robbins can do Tony Robbins, but there's so many things. And also, what this allows to happen is previously the only way you could see the big stars was to see them live or to buy their material. In order to get seen, you have to be on YouTube, you have to be in social media. So people will see the stuff you're doing and they will get it and they'll grow it and they'll run with it even further than you're doing. So you need to be constantly evolving and moving your game and moving the goalposts. So Tony Robbins is seen as the #1 motivational speaker, or at least he was before lockdown, by many, many people. But I guarantee there's a load of people looking at that actual presentation that we saw today and saying, I know what he's missed. He should do it this way and it'll be even better. And that's what's going to make the next couple of months really exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, right now, coronavirus and the pandemic has accelerated the curve. In 2010, this is the first thing that I actually saw the interactivity of iPads and iPhones and cameras and the different devices. And this was in the Woodlands Church, which you, when you came here once, Dave, we went there, and you know that they are the masters at marketing. This is something that happened on their Christmas edition. And this is very interesting. This was 10 years ago. And it took 10 years for this crazy industry to start moving. But right now, we have come into a big accelerator. So let me just show you. This is just very, very nice to see. Isn't it amazing, Dave, that in 10 years, I mean, very few things happening. This is the beginning of it. And suddenly the whole thing has changed.
Great question from Gunther, actually, saying, how would you monetize all this stuff? And how would you make sure? Well, the money comes from the gigs. Typically with corporates, they'll book you in to do an event like this. But also you got the fact that whilst speakers are thinking, how do I get booked? You've also got the other scale of corporates saying, how do we get everybody to be motivated to go back to work and feel good in their own houses? When we're not going to spend time, you know, around the water cooler having a chat and having a coffee and so on. We can do the best we can, but we really need to pull out the stops to let people know that we love them and they're still part of this this culture, this community. So there's lots of different ways of being able to monetize it. The main thing that I would consider from a point of view of being a speaker is giving incredible innovation and value. And then you're going to look at your marketing. That's a separate conversation. You've got to stand out and have something different. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you really enjoyed it, then make sure you watch one of these two videos afterwards. And Esther, why are you staring up the top of my head?
Dave, your hair is actually thinning out.
Well, if it is, it's about the only thing getting thin on this show.
Here on this side, we have some more amazing videos for you to watch.